When it comes to manga that I tried and didn't love and decided not to continue it, and then I tried again here later on, and I ended up loving it. 2023 must be the year of second chances when it comes to manga. Hello friends, happy Thursday. So very excited that you're here. We are continuing the 25 days of shoujo manga. It has been so much fun. My calendar has pretty much lost, its schedule at this point, except for most of the videos that are not reviews. If you're curious about what those videos are, be sure to check out the video link here. So excited to feature this manga today. It is very much a manga I tried. I think when I looked on Goodreads, I tried the first volume back in January, was not hooked on it, wasn't super sold. And then there was an anime announcement, and as I've done with any manga that I tried, didn't love, it got an anime announcement, and then I tried again. I have loved it, and so that manga that I tried again loved is Seventh Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. This has a light novel as well as a manga. I'm only reviewing the first 3 volumes because I told myself I couldn't get volume 4 even though it just released. I really want to get it, but I told myself I've got to finish what's on my physical TBR and then I can get volume 4, and I am ready. It is the motivation I need to conquer my TBR pile because this was amazing, and I really hope that I can do this series justice. There's so many wonderful things that I want to say about it. But let's go ahead and talk about this series is about. So as I said, there is a light novel from Seven Seas and an ongoing manga. I believe the light novels are ongoing as well, but I don't know how far they are. I know we have 5 volumes, so I checked last night, like there's 5 volumes or 6 volumes ongoing for the manga in Japan, so yes, we're getting more. But yes, in case if you're not familiar with this series, it is about our main girl here, and I am not 100% sure how you say her name, Risha, but she is our main girl, and she is engaged to the crown prince. Then he decides to dump her. He accuses her of a bunch of crimes, but here's the thing. When this happens, and when the book starts off, it is her 7th life. Her 7 lives before that, she has died at the age of 20, but each time she is reincarnated or time traveled back to the day that she's dumped by the crown prince. And each year she has pursued a different kind of job or career, like she's been a maid, a knight, an apothecary, like she's done a variety and a lot of different cool things. But with this time, the 7th time loop, she decides that she is going to live a lazy life, that she's just going to enjoy things, she's not going to work hard, she's going to really take it easy. She's like, I'm ready to be done with this crown prince and go live my life of laziness. But here's the thing, when she is in the process of leaving, who does she meet? She meets the man that actually killed her in the previous life when she was a knight. And in all of her lives, this man has always started a war. And he takes great interest in her. So much interest that he actually is like, I want you to be my wife. And she's pretty shocked because she was, more or less trying to avoid this man, but here she is now going to be engaged to him instead of the crown prince, who was totally horrible and made up a bunch of lies about her, and good riddance is all I can say. So now with her 7th life, it is focusing on her trying to fulfill her new dream here of living a lazy life, but by the man that she never thought that she would be standing side by side and not as like a potential enemy. And that is how this story kicks off. I don't know what it was that I could not get super emotionally invested in this first volume. It is not bad. And I've talked with a friend, I think because when you, in the beginning, you see her previous lives, they are awesome. I really enjoyed seeing who she used to be in these previous lives. And so when I felt like her dream was to be lazy and to not do anything, it just felt not nearly as exciting as it was when we see these flashbacks of her previous lives. And I get it, like when you see how hard she's worked, when you see how she's died in these other lives, yeah, I would be the same way if I was her. I want to take it easy. I don't want to have to work. I don't want to have to do anything. And it's so shocking that when she meets Arnold, who is the guy that caused these wars in her past lives and is now going to be his new wife, yeah, I would be pretty afraid to face him and shocked if he's like, yeah, I am sold on our first impression basically, and I want you to be my wife. It was very different and was a good change of pace, so to speak, because it's just like her whole life, it's already being pretty chaotic because the original crown prince dumped her and everything. But now it's even more chaotic. And the funny thing is she's saying that she wants to live this carefree life and everything, but she's still doing a lot of the things that she did in her past life. One of them, she was a maid and she goes undercover, and I don't know if it's in this volume or the next volume, but she does go undercover as a maid. There was in this one, she cleans the royal villa that she's going to be staying at. And the knights that watch her are like, what are you doing? You are the crown princess fiance. You should not be doing this. It's like, no, I got it. Like, she's still having those same tendencies. Is that the right word? Like, she still has those same habits, I guess is the right word. And so I really enjoyed that. And so I liked this first volume, but I just was not sold on it fully because of that. I wanted her to live just as an exciting life as she had before. And that brings me to volume 2 because I'm so glad that I kept reading. I was so emotionally invested in this volume. It is definitely the point. I'm not saying that like this is a try 3 kind of series because I know a lot of friends really loved and were hooked at volume 1, but when it came to volume 2, that was it. I was just, again, I'm so emotionally invested. I felt shock, surprise, sadness, anger, happiness. I think Risha is just an amazing young woman, and I think this is where I started getting really hooked too, because when I was flipping through the opening chapter, she is having to choose her handmaidens, and the way that she goes about it was very interesting because she does go undercover. But what is so great about this heroine, she really lives out her life to the fullest. When we talk about in the real world, real reality here, we talk about go chase your dreams, live life to the very fullest. And we see with her backstory that she has been told that her worth, her identity, her value is all wrapped up in being the crown prince's fiance. This was what she was born for, basically. This is what she was raised for. It doesn't matter what her personal dreams are. She needs to get rid of those dreams and not pursue them. But because she has lived 7 lives and she has lived a different life each time, pursued different dreams in each lifetime, she is now steadfast, rock solid in her own worth, that she doesn't need to be the fiance of a crown prince to have some kind of identity. No. She's like, my value, my dream is important and nobody can take that away from me. Not only that, there's a conversation that she tells Arnold when they're talking, and she says, my knowledge, my skills that I have gained are my treasures. These are things special to me and things I will hold on, things that have shaped me in the way that I think today. It was just incredible to see how she's living that out. And so I say all that because when it goes into volume 2, she's not just saying and believing that for herself. When she's choosing these handmaidens, I don't want to go too in depth because I don't want to give spoilers, but she tells them, let me see if I can find the quote here. I did find it. So she is telling them what she's going to do, why they have been chosen and whatnot. But then she says, once they learn all the duties of a maid, they will be promoted to the main palace where the rest of the royal family lives. Just as Diana said, once you learn something, you don't forget it. You can use the skills you learn for the rest of your life. Even if you end up living a different life, they'll still be useful to you. And you see that in every single moment of her life, of the decisions that she makes. And when, I think it was more so in volume 3 that I started thinking this, but she in many ways reminds me of Villainous from like Villainous Manga, where she is in this life, she has a second chance, she's been, reincarnated or whatever, and she's trying to avoid the red flags. And the red flag would be Arnold, she doesn't want to be slain by him like she was in her past life. But here she is, all around the red flag, engaged to the red flag, and it's like, what is she gonna do? And typically in Villainous Manga, the villainess or the main heroine is going to avoid that red flag for their own safety, for their own life, so that they can stay alive. I feel like our main heroine here is following very similar steps. But here's the thing, she reminds me so much of Pride from the Most Radical Last Boss Queen. I did a review earlier this year, absolutely loved it. And the reason that I loved it is because both of these heroines, Pride and Risha, they don't want to necessarily die. And there's more definitely explained that I absolutely loved. It makes Risha a very multi-layered character, but neither of them, rather than avoiding the red flags for their own lives, for their own sake, they are choosing to look that fear in the eye, to let that fear compel them to make decisions that will better the lives of the people around around them that will help the lives of the people around them. It's like they have taken themselves out of this situation, their own safety, and instead are focusing on other people. We see this very prevalent in the third volume of how Risha, that she's changing her mindset and she's thinking of the people in the slums, that she's like, I can't think like a merchant. Not that that's a bad thing, but she's like, I need to think about being a crown princess, how I can use the little power, the little title status that she has and better the economy in this nation that is going to be my new home. She's very inspired by the people around her who have touched her, like her, I guess you would say her head handmaiden. She has a conversation with her in volume 2 that is a complete game changer for her whole life, or at least for Risha, of how she's going to move forward. And even as she sees Arnold has been accused of being this cold, ruthless man who is very savage, and he definitely has a well-known title, I don't know what it is, but like a well-known status on the battlefield where people cannot take this man down. This man is savage, and that is what he's known for. But as our main girl, she is seen, though he is not this heartless man that these rumors are saying. There's a key moment that she witnesses and she sees that he really does care about these people. He cares for their livelihood. He wants to see his people happy. Even if there's times where it's really alarming, it's like he takes himself out of the situation as well, where like if something were to happen to him, that things could go smoothly. And I love how that is addressed with Risha, where she's like, you need to stop thinking about if you're not here. Risha is so big on pursuing your personal dreams, knowing your worth and your value. And she's like, don't live life with regrets. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't even know what's going to happen in the future. So you need to live in the now and have no regrets. Again, just seeing a heroine live out that idea of what does it look like to live your second chance to the fullest, and not even your second chance, the very first chance, the life that we have now, of living that out, of knowing who you are and that nobody can define your value. Nobody can take away your dreams, your treasure, your knowledge, and that you can use those to aid you in your life, aid other people, and go out not regretting any kind of decision that you made today. It was so very powerful, and I never expected that, like, at the end of this volume, there is a big romantic cliffhanger, and I was all here for it. And I came into volume 3 thinking, yes, this is exactly what I want to see more of. I literally was sniffling. I was about to start crying pretty hard as we got further into this, or as I got further into this volume, because this series isn't hugely romantic focused. I feel like it's going to be a slow burn. I'm very here for it. I love them together. They have moments where they're like a normal everyday couple, and there's just none of the nobility that matters, like nobility status title, and I really, really love that. But as we got into volume 3, and like so we got closer to the end, I was so emotionally moved because it's like now Risha, she has said what her greatest fear is. It breaks my heart because of how she's touching these other people, how she's changing their lives, and yet she has this fear, and I don't know what she's going to do about it. I don't know how she's going to be able to unlock this fear from around her heart. I mean, it's obvious to me that she's doing everything she can to keep moving forward despite how she feels. But when I say that she's helping people, there are two characters in this volume specifically where you're at the climax, so to speak. I'm assuming like the climax in the light novel of volume 1, and you're seeing how heartbreaking it is and how there's such a deep need for reconciliation. And Risha takes it upon herself in a good way, where she's like, I see how you feel for this other character. I'm going to do everything in my power to help you, because she doesn't want the other character, either one of them, to live with any kind of regrets. She wants them to be able to find healing, and seeing that unfold was so moving. I cried. I cried, Bob. I cried. I had all the sniffles, and I was like, I care for the romance, but in that moment, like, I don't care for the romance. This series has shocked me in how it's more deep than just a romance, and I'm not knocking that because you guys know I love my romance. I love my romance, and I'm here for it. I want to see more of it. But just like Arnold, he's always saying that Risha is such a surprise to him. Like, he never can predict her next move, and I feel the same way. I wouldn't say like this is it is a deep story, yes, but there are plenty of happy moments. But I didn't expect that when I started this. I didn't expect to be so blown away by her living with no regrets and doing everything she can to fulfill her dream. I just never imagined that there'd be so much more heart to this series as well. Really love Risha that for a main heroine, that she's very business savvy. Now, don't get me wrong, I've read other series where there is a very business savvy heroine. For example, the first person that came to mind was Aline from I'm the Villainess, So I'm Taming the Final Boss, which I also reviewed on this channel. I feel she is very business savvy, but she has more of a focus on making sure that she stays alive and that she can marry, you know, the final boss and everything. Risha, yes, she has other motives where she does want to stay alive and such, but she is thinking of other people first. You just see that shine in this volume, and you see her kick butt. Like, this outfit is everything, and seeing her kick butt was everything. Typically, I would say like that was girl boss vibes, but I feel like that doesn't even capture that moment, that scene. The way the art just reflects the situation really made me shiver and just like take a step back. Like, this girl's really cool, but she could be really savage at the same time. I also loved a lot of the characters. I really love this character. He's pretty unhinged in the beginning, but I really, really liked him, and I was really shocked because I feel like he has more of the villain vibes, and I love this character. He is very funny, and I did like seeing him get humbled by our main girl. I'm not even gonna lie, I did appreciate seeing that. And I like Arnold as well. He does not smile often. You cannot read what this man is thinking at all. Like, you don't know. You don't know. I appreciate when our main girl is like, I want to know you for you. She tells him more than once, like, I'm gonna be your wife. I'm gonna be your wife with no regrets. I want to get to know you for you. And I'm like, girl, I'm here for it. And Arnold, I don't think knows what to do with that. I really don't think he knows what to do. But I am excited to hopefully get to know him, because that is something that I desire as a reader, to see what is going on in this man's head. Because again, you really just don't know, but for the amount of page time he has, I think he's cool. I really do like him. He is scary a few times, but he's still really interesting as a character. And I would say, honestly, like, not just him, I really liked all of the characters, to be honest. I'm not going to go through them and show all of them, but I love the handmaidens, and I love the character progression that we see in the main characters as well as side characters. Everything is so interesting, and the art is so vivid and so beautiful, and really just captures a lot of great moments. And I so wish that I could show a few of the panels that really just captured my heart and just sucked me in. I am very excited for the anime. I feel nervous because the last time I even like kept up with an anime was like back in January, so I don't know if I can keep up with this one, but it's one that I would love to keep up with because of the high emotional response that I was never anticipating that I personally would have. This series has really shocked me. I told myself we're not going to be getting a whole bunch of new series, but here I am getting another, catching up on a new-ish kind of series. I think it came out in January, because I want to know where it goes. I am attached to these characters. I love just the messages and how they have affected me. I have had a very strong emotional reaction that has been very, very amazing, because I never expected that is what I was going to get when I started this again. Could not stop thinking about it yesterday, and I was so eager to like review this on this channel, and I hope I did this series justice. If you've read it, I would love to know, what did you think? Did you enjoy it? Do you enjoy, I guess, like time travel kind of stories? What are some time travel stories that you have enjoyed? Are you looking forward to the anime? Totally let me know. I would love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!